Boys and girls, ladies and gents, welcome to another episode of Clutch Conversations. I really appreciate everybody coming out tonight. I hope y'all are having a fantastic Thursday. First and foremost, I do want to apologize for not being able to make last week's episode. So I apologize to G from Sick With It Ball Pythons. We're definitely going to have to get that back on the books. And I apologize to all y'all for having to cancel at the last minute. I had some last minute things come up with work, and so it's just one of those things I just had to deal with at the time. So I do apologize, and I appreciate y'all coming back this week. We got a real good guest this week. I've been waiting to get the homie Shemier from Royal Black Balls on the show, and so I'm really looking forward to this episode. So without further ado, I'm going to bring my homie from backstage. We can get right in it.
What's going on?
What's up, bro? What's up? How's it going?
Everything's good. Everything's good, man. Happy to be here. How you feeling?
Good, man. Happy to have you on the show. I appreciate you coming on.
Of course. It was an honor. Thank you for having me, man. Like I said, appreciate it.
Cool. All right, so I'm sure most people know you, but introduce yourself. Tell us about what it is you do.
So I am Shemier Bernard of Royal Black Balls. I am a ball python keeper at the moment. I'm in the process of becoming a breeder, so learning a lot and working with these animals, but ball pythons only, and that's me.
You said ball pythons only, so that's all you're keeping right now?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Have you ever kept any other reptiles?
I have. I've kept. I had an iguana. I've had a bearded dragon. I've had a corn snake.
Okay. How was the iguana?
The iguana was a lot, So the iguana was my introduction into reptiles. I got that when I was about 8 years old, and
okay, you hopped in feet first.
Yeah, man. Well, it was my dad came home with a box for my birthday. You know what I mean? Scratching around. I'm like, what's that? I know I've told this story before, but it was my iguana, and there wasn't a bunch of literature out there like that, you know what I mean? Like the pet store, they couldn't give me that much information about it, about keeping it, didn't have the internet, you know what I mean? I was real young at the time, so kind of just went off of what I thought I could find out, you know what I mean? And took it from there. It didn't go well. Unfortunately, the animal ended up passing away. But again, I was real young, and I didn't have any help from my family as far as knowledge goes. So it was it was all on me to kind of figure out. My dad definitely took me to the couple of different pet stores, and I got an opportunity to speak with some of the people there. But I'm sure they don't always have the most knowledge when it comes to everything. You know what I mean? So, that was my intro.
Okay. Yeah. You said that was when you was 8?
Yeah, I was 8 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's admirable, like taking on the responsibility like that at 8 years old, though.
Yeah. I was ready to do it. You know what I mean? I used to be down there, cutting up his greens and his fruits and stuff like that.
Okay.
Everything he needed, but my lighting wasn't there, which I didn't know at the time. You know what I mean? I that's something I learned later on when I kept my bearded dragon, about the proper lighting needed for those type of animals. So didn't work out how I wanted it to, but it was a good opportunity for me, and like I said, that was an introduction and started my love with reptiles.
Okay.
From then on, that getting that iguana is what had me in my backyard looking for frogs and garter snakes. Yeah, man. I was one of, being a kid, you ever see somebody walking around with a big snake on their shoulder or something like that? Just
wowed you.
Yeah, I'm gonna be me one day. I don't like taking my snakes out too much, but just to have a snake, you know what I mean? Be a keeper of that kind of animal it just fascinated me.
Okay. So like the first person I saw with a snake that fascinated me, so it wasn't like the croc keeper or crocodile hunter or anything like that. It was Jake the Snake off of wrestling. You remember
that? Man, I was a huge wrestling fan when I was a kid, man. Jake the Snake, man.
Jake the Snake was the man, bro.
Snake was the man. It's funny. I watched a documentary with him not too long ago, and he was talking about the cobra that he had bite Macho Man, how he had it defanged, and prior to Macho Man's like, yo, you got to get bit and let me watch it first. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, it's crazy to think that he was bringing those types of animals into the ring and
Yeah.
using them as part of his content or whatever he was doing out there. You know what I mean? I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, that had me fascinated, bro. Wrestling was so fire back then too, bro.
It
Like
was.
Jake
It
the
was.
Snake, Lex Luger, Sting, Ultimate Warrior. Like it
Warrior
was
was my favorite.
fire.
Ultimate
Ultimate
Warrior.
Warrior is your favorite too?
Yeah, man.
Okay, okay.
I used to, like little strings and stuff tied around my arms
Yeah.
and my legs. You know. Yeah, that was me. Yeah.
Ultimate Warrior was the yeah, yeah. He was my favorite. Him and Sting, those are my two favorites.
Okay.
And I low key like, I don't know if you remember Great Muta. I know we're getting way off topic, but I don't know if you remember the Great Muta.
No, I don't. I don't know
Okay,
about
he
that.
was like Sting arch enemy. Like he would like
Okay.
blow like some colored stuff in his face and knock Sting out. But I low key liked him though, just because it was exciting, bro.
No, that's the kind of stuff you want to do at home. You trying to recreate at the house.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Your wrestling was that fire back then, bro.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And so you've been kind of keeping on and off ever since you've been 8.
Yeah, man. So I got my the bearded dragon I got when I was maybe 18, 19. And then I got the corn snake right after that. And then man, I didn't really care for the corn snake too much. I thought it was cool, looked cool, but I wanted something with some size to it. You know what I mean? Something that looked kind of me. The corn snake was like a giant worm to me. You know,
Okay.
um,
And they so
so I'm just
fast
like,
too.
yeah, man, it's like a giant worm, real. They started, first time I fed it, it was rattling its tail. I'm like, I didn't even know that was a thing. You know what I mean? I'm just like, I don't really like this. So I watched a Brian Gundy video, and he had this 5,000 gram girl ball python that he was showing off. I'm just like, man, that's what I want. I want something big like that I could,
Okay.
watch grow and take care of, and show people, and you know what I mean. Like, yeah, that's what kind of what I wanted. So watching his videos kind of was like, it put me on the path to getting a ball python. I'm like, that's the snake I gotta have. You know what I mean? I knew I wanted something big, but I didn't know what. His video told me you need a ball python in your life. You know what I mean? So I was definitely that. Like I said, that set me on the path to ball pythons. And so I bought a couple, and was keeping for a while. And then my wife and I, we started traveling. I've told this before too. We started traveling. I had to get rid of them just because I wasn't able to really give them the care that I wanted to. And then cut to COVID. The year before COVID, actually, I started doing some research. Like, man, I got to get back into this. And right when COVID hit, I'm just like, looks like we're gonna have some downtime. You know what I mean? And I kind of started getting some animals. And now I'm here. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So right when you got back into the ball pythons, did you immediately want to breed? Is that the reason you got back into it, or was it just more on the keeping side?
So I wanted to breed before. I had these plans. I was growing up a bumblebee, and I wanted to breed it to a pied girl that I had purchased. Um, I had some breeding plans. I just couldn't, couldn't do it. I didn't have the time. I didn't have the space. I couldn't give them the care, like I said. So this time around, I kind of went all in. Getting
Gotcha.
all the animals. What I mean, doing too much in the beginning, buying too many animals. You know what I mean. So I had to get rid of a couple, and now I'm kind of where I want to be to progress successfully. I believe.
Okay. We got a bunch of people in the chat. Want to give a few quick shout outs. Keys, what's up? Thanks
Yeah,
for coming out.
my brother
Pat,
Pat was
what's
good.
up? Thanks for coming out. If y'all haven't seen it, go check out Pat on his interview on Trap Talk earlier. I think it was this Monday. It was a dope ass
Okay.
interview though. Yeah, yeah. Who else we got?
Hey, baby.
Thank you for coming out.
No, she's gonna pop in. Thank you.
Oh yeah, she got to show the support. Got
Yeah.
to. Esteban, what's up, bro? Thank you for coming out.
Good brother.
Gershon, what's up? GP Snakes, you know what it is.
GP.
Cole, what's up? Thanks for coming out. Thanks for coming out.
Cole, what's up? What's up?
What else we got? Keisha, thanks for coming out. Thanks for coming out.
What's up? What's going on?
Mike, what's up, bro? Thanks for coming out.
That's my guy right there.
Yes, sir. Wolf was Morris. Thanks for coming out, brother.
Morris, what's going on?
What else we got? Make sure I didn't miss anybody. Phil, what's up? Thanks for coming out, brother.
Good. What's good?
Bosa, what's up, bro? Thank you for coming out.
What's going on?
Got to get Bosa on the show.
Yeah. Look forward to seeing that.
Yes, sir. A lot of comments. I really appreciate it. Chris, what's up? I just want to make sure I don't miss nobody. In the chat.
What's going on?
I think that's everybody. All right, so you say you've been keeping off and on since you were 8. So what are some things that Keeping Reptiles has taught you about yourself?
So, man, I think I've learned more because this, to me, this is the time when I'm really keeping. You know what I mean? Like, I've kind of started a new hump of my keeping. You know what I mean? And so, to me, right now, I'm really keeping because it's a lot more demanding of me because of how many animals I have. You know, I have plans and stuff. You know what I mean?
How many do you have right now?
Only I have 25 right now.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe
that's a lot.
Maybe 27. I don't know.
25, 27,
somewhere around there. Yeah, somewhere around. I got a count. I haven't done a count. You know what I mean? Like I said, I got rid of a couple, and then a couple ended up making their way back here. Filling those tubs up. But yeah, I got to do a count.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you saying you was learning more about the keeping and kind of growing in that respect?
Yeah, man. Yeah. So like I said, this before I didn't really feel like I was, keeping because I was learning still, and I'm still learning. I feel like I'm always trying to learn, but it didn't really feel like keeping then. Now it really feels like keeping because it also because it takes up a lot of my life now. To where before it was just like a pet, something to kind of look at. Prior to me getting rid of my animals when I was deciding that I did want to breed, that was definitely keeping for me. But now I'm submerged in it. Definitely different from before.
Okay. But how many hours a week do you think you put in?
I can't even tell you. I can't, because I'm always in the snake room. I spend time in here when I don't really need to be in here. You know what I mean? It's like an escape for me. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, man. I'll throw on like Python Spawn, or you know what I mean, like Brian from Santa's Snakeatorium.
Shout out to Tish.
I was watching some GP interviews earlier, and I'll kind of just leave stuff on and just rock out here, start cleaning random stuff. You know what I mean? Like moving stuff around. I just enjoy being in here, so I can't really tell you how many hours a week I spend in here.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm the same way, man. I enjoy being in here, man. It's kind of like a getaway. Like you could just get in here, zone out, cut on a podcast, cut on some music, listen to an audiobook, just whatever, and just kind of zone out and do your thing.
Yeah.
I know we do like you've been doing audiobooks?
Yeah, well, in here, I like the audiobooks, when I'm driving and stuff like that. But I've been doing them lately in here, like
Okay.
Listen to.
Yeah, I just started one yesterday. It's called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. And so
Okay. Okay.
I'm only like a couple pages into it because I just started it, but it's pretty good so far. It's like a
Worth it.
interesting um perspective, really.
Excuse me. Okay. Okay.
But yeah, I'll let you know how that go. But yeah,
Yeah.
I like the
So
audiobooks. I like the
I
audiobooks.
referred some good books. So yeah, please let me know how you like it.
Okay. Okay. Cool. So I noticed a lot of folks that kind of misunderstand reptiles. What are some things you think people misunderstand about reptiles the most?
Uh, Man, I feel like people see reptiles and they automatically start viewing the movies. The movies that they've seen kind of pop in their head. People getting chased and crazy things happening, snakes on a plane, anaconda. You know what I mean?
Anaconda.
Like they just mean like it's all dangerous stuff. So I feel like you only think at the level to which you're exposed, and
Right.
I think if people were exposed more to these animals, and they would have a different view on them. But because they're only fed what Hollywood gives them,
Right.
they have this terrible image of these animals. So, it's up to us to put out content, showing what they do, how they are, as keepers and breeders, to kind of change people's mindset because, like I said, a lot of people it's just Hollywood. They know about snakes because they've seen them on TV and or they watching Animal Discovery and they're in the somewhere crazy. It just it's up to us, like I said, to kind of
Absolutely.
give people the right image of these animals.
Absolutely. We were joking, like I think it was yesterday, but talking about how like a lot of times people don't even want to come over your house once they hear you got snakes. Yeah, like
And
I think in their mind they just picture the snakes free roaming
yeah,
all over the place, and it's like
that's
you're
the
not gonna even
bomb.
see the snakes. Like if you came in my house right now, unless I told you, you would know we had snakes because
You
they're
have
not
no
out in
idea.
the
You
open.
have
Yeah, you have no idea because they're all in rooms behind closed doors, and so you have no
yeah,
idea if you just came in the front part of the house. Now, if you came in one of the rooms, then you would know. But
yeah, yeah.
they're not just out here roaming around.
Yeah, no, my brother, he would come. He lives up in Connecticut, about 2 hours from me. So he would come and spend the night. But man, since I got back into this, he hasn't been back to spend. He'll come over, but he won't spend the night anymore. I think he's afraid he's gonna pick up a snake wrapped around him or something. I'm like, man, I try to show him the biggest one. I'm like, man, it's not even big enough to wrap you.
Right.
And the second I open the tub, he's like, nah, that's
I'm good, bro.
it's like,
I'm good.
you know what I mean? But yeah,
So my
I
cousin came by from Cali a few months ago, and he came in the room in the snake room, but he didn't want to touch no snakes. But he was cool with like me opening the tubs, me pulling them out while he was in here, but he didn't want to touch none, which he did better than a lot of people do because a lot of people, like I said, they wouldn't even come by.
yeah. So I know a couple people, a couple of my family members. I've been into reptiles for a while, so it's not new to them. You know what I mean? Like it was the thing a while ago when I was keeping. That, hey, let's go to uncle's room. I got a bunch of nephews and nieces. Let's go to uncle's
Okay,
room and pull out the
I bet that's
snakes and
real
take
dope for
pictures.
them. Yeah,
Oh yeah, love it. Yeah, they love it to this day. You know what I mean? When the second they come by, they're like, all right, let's see what snakes you got. You know what I mean?
yeah, they
Anything
get
new?
exposed at a young age,
What's
so
the
that's good.
size? Yeah, yeah. They like to see the size. You know what I mean? The size changes on some of them. They're like, man, I remember when this one was a little baby, and they get the opportunity to put it around his shoulder now, and it looks like something now. You know what I mean? From before when they could only hold it in their hands.
Oh yeah,
So they definitely. Yeah, it's cool. It's a cool experience. I enjoy watching them too. Watching them handle the snakes and deal with them. I'm trying to get I'm trying to inspire some help, but it's not working so far. You know what I mean? They come over, they do pictures, and I'm like, hey, you can make some money with me too. And they like, I gotta clean. Like, you know, they're like, nah, I'm good. You know, so I'm working on it. I'm hoping maybe my daughter in a couple of years, you know, she'll be my little helper. You know what I mean? But we'll see how that goes.
Okay, okay. But yeah, you know, your nieces and nephews, they going to school. So yeah, we play with some snakes.
Yeah. Yep. Oh yeah, but they'll come over to FaceTime their friends. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
You know, the second I mention cleaning, they're like, I gotta go. You know, they out of here. You know what I mean? So
They
yeah.
just want the
I,
glamorous part.
yeah. I've actually had my little 8-year-old nephew come over, FaceTiming one of his little girlfriends, and going, "Hey, how much snakes we got? Hey, we have 24 snakes." You know, it's like, hey, these are your snakes now. You know what I mean? But it's cool. I definitely seeing the family around the animals, and you know, I had my baby shower over the summer.
Okay.
A couple of my nephews, they've taken the snakes out and walking around, and everybody, they know what I do, so you know everybody's pretty comfortable with it for the most part. You know what I mean? It's I have it's just a couple that you know that kind of standoffish, but for the most part, they're you know they like coming around and seeing the animals and stuff like that. More
Gotcha.
fascination than anything, you know.
Gotcha. Yeah. It's similar in my family. Probably like everyone who knows what I do now, they're fascinated with it, but they're
Mm.
fascinated from afar. Like they don't necessarily want
Okay.
to get close, but they love to talk
Okay.
about it. Like we can have a 30-minute, 1 hour conversation about it, but they don't want to come
Yeah.
close. They just want to hear about it, and they support what I do, and they're happy.
That's
They're happy that I'm doing something that we're doing something what we like and whatnot. But like I said, they're not trying to come over here and touch no snakes.
nah, but that's super helpful, man. When your family kind of embraces you, and supports you, because you know it can sound a little crazy, you know, like hey, I want to keep 100 snakes in the house. It sounds a little crazy, you know what I mean? Especially
Right.
out. It's definitely a blessing when you know when you have family that supports you and want to talk to you about it, because some of them they might ask a question or two, but to actually sit down and you know hear me ramble for an hour or two about snakes is great, because you know we can only do that with other snake keepers, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's rare we run into somebody, you know, I can start going off real quick. I'll tell my nephews to run away from me, because I'm like, oh, I'll just keep talking about snakes, so just go now, you know what I mean?
It's a fun conversation. Like I remember the first
Yeah,
time I told my cousin that I was ultrasounding, a different cousin, but I told my cousin I was ultrasounding. He's like, "You doing what?" And then that turned
yeah,
to like a 30-minute conversation, not just about ultrasounding, but just about the whole breeding process and what I'm looking for and why we're looking for this. And he was fascinated, but like I said, he don't want to touch him. Though. But he definitely want to hear about him and definitely support us. So that's what's up.
yeah,
So
because you know people can't even think or fathom about what we're doing until we start
right,
talking about it. So it's just you know they eat up all the information you can give them for the most part, you know.
right, because it sounds. I mean, I can kind of see it like from where they're coming from because I mean I'm not that far removed from not being in the reptile industry, not being in the reptile hobby. So I know how it kind of looks from the outside looking in, and so I can see it. And then kind of like you said earlier, you're really kind of combating like all these preconceived notions just because of they've been watching stuff, seeing stuff in the media, seeing stuff Hollywood, and so they had like all these notions about all snakes, this and that, and so this whole reptile keeping and the other side of that, the true side of that, they're not familiar with, and so it's cool when they want to learn about it. Some
Yeah,
people just shut it off, but it's really cool when you have somebody who, although they might be a little scared or a little timid or they don't want to touch them, but they still want to learn about it. I mean, because to me, that's
right,
progress,
right,
not just
right.
completely shutting it down. Right?
Yeah, yeah. I feel the same way. I
Yeah, that's
think
dope.
people need to anyway, just off the jump. People need to be like that, you know, about just with life, you know, willing to learn and understand.
Exactly, exactly. I think and not to get too deep, not get too deep, but yeah, I think if you apply that principle to like your entire life, then you could just be that much better off. The whole world
Yeah,
would be
you'll be a
just
better
that much better off.
fact. That's a fact.
Right.
Hmm. Very true, man.
So tell a story about how you came up with your name.
Man, so I wanted to breed. I told you some years back. I wanted to do like something like I love Royal Balls with like some New York swag to it. You know what I mean? You know, I know you've seen the I love New York thing. You know what I mean? So I wanted
Yeah,
to come up
yeah,
with
yeah.
like some kind of logo into that. You know what I mean? And then I cut to me really getting into the hobby and seeing all the companies that were out there. I was like, man, I got to come up with something a little different. But I like the Royal Balls thing. You know what I mean? So it kind of pushed me to want to show who I am, being black and being a black, having a black owned business. So I'm like, man, Royal Black Balls sounds pretty good. Kind of sounds funky, you know what I mean? So that's kind of the name I went with.
Okay. All right. So what else? Sorry, that's just that. So what's one word that you would say best describes Royal Black Balls?
Trustworthy.
Trustworthy. Okay. Why
Yeah.
is that?
So I've been taught that competence and integrity equal trust, and
Okay.
I've made it my business to try to learn all that I can so I can be competent um, when it comes to this hobby and it comes to keeping. And I've tried my best to make relationships, let people see who I am, you know, because I want them to know me for who I am, and I'm trying to be transparent um, because I want people to trust that I have integrity. You know what I mean? So
Gotcha. Gotcha. That's
yeah,
dope, bro. Yeah, that's one of the things. I mean, it's important in all aspects of life, but it's definitely one of the things that's important in this hobby because it takes a lot of trust, right? Because you got to trust that a breeder's taking care of their animals properly. They're not trying to get over on you. Just all these different factors that can kind of really just mess you up if you kind of break that, right? And so I
yeah,
definitely think
yeah,
trustworthiness is a big thing to have with any business, and especially in this business.
yeah. I want people to trust the integrity of the transaction. You know what I mean? Trust that the animal is a quality animal being taken care of well. You know, so yeah, trustworthy.
And have you been selling a lot of stuff on Morph Market? Or are you selling stuff locally? I know you got a Morph Market seller account.
So I've sold one animal on Morph Market. The others I've sold, you know, on Instagram. I guess you could say.
Okay. So the one you sold on Morph Market, did you sell it to somebody you knew, or did you sell it to somebody who just came across your animal on Morph Market?
Someone that just came across my animal. They live
Okay.
out in Washington. So yeah, actually that was the ball python that got me back into keeping. So it was my first sale also. So you know it
Okay.
was fitting. Yeah, it was fitting. You know, that was my first animal back, and then that was my first sale too. You know what I mean? Like he didn't fit with my project plans anymore, so that's why I put him on the chopping block.
Okay.
But
Okay.
yeah,
And in a minute, I wanna get into your projects and plans and stuff.
okay,
But just real quick on the selling part. So one of the things that I'm not gonna say I'm worried about, but one of the things I want to make sure it's not an issue is that people don't feel like they can trust our company, right? And so that's one of the reasons why we're doing these videos. That's one of the reasons why we're trying to give ourselves like more visibility, so you can see that it's real people dealing with these snakes. It's not somebody out here that's trying to hustle you. That's why we're putting so much effort and energy into building our brand, and because that's one of the things that I was initially worried about. It's like I don't want to be breeding these snakes, have all these snakes I need to sell, and no one wants to buy from me because A, they
yeah,
never heard of me, and then B, they think I might be trying to hustle them.
right.
So yeah, it's definitely good to have that trust. But yeah, that's why I was curious if you had any issues selling on Morph Market. So the person who bought from you, did they ask you a bunch of questions like who are you, or did they kind of have an idea of who you were, or do you even know?
So they had reached out. Um, started following me after they reached out. I guess, got an opportunity to see my animals, and yeah, it was more so talking after the purchase.
Okay.
It was their first python,
It was their first?
so it was their first
Oh,
ball
that's dope.
python. Yeah,
That's dope.
yeah. So I ended up talking to her, telling her about feeding and keeping a little bit. So she just had a couple questions, being new to keeping. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So I was more than happy to discuss things with her, and it was more so after the purchase that we had a back and forth.
Gotcha. Yeah, so we've only had
Yeah.
one clutch so far. Go ahead.
Okay.
Now I was
No, no, no.
saying we
I was
only.
gonna say, and the snake took a week to get to her.
Oh
So it
wow.
was in transit
What?
a week. Yeah, man. I was a little nervous, especially it was my first sale. I shipped it out the day before my birthday, and it was supposed to get there on my birthday. So I was all hype. I'm like, man, it's my
Yeah,
first
yeah.
sale. I'm like, yeah. And
Happy
then
birthday.
yeah, I was just like, all right, so you're not getting the snake today. I had to call her, reach out to her because FedEx was reaching out to me. I got the notifications rather, and then it ended up being the following week that she got the snake. You know what I mean? So a little nerve wracking. You know what I mean? But
I can imagine.
yeah. So it, because of all of that, we ended up talking, all that week, and then she got the snake, and then so there was a lot of back and forth between us, but it was all after the purchase.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. So we've only had like one clutch so far, and all the ones that we sold, I sold them here locally. So I haven't experienced shipping yet,
Okay.
and I haven't experienced really selling through Morph Market. We posted the snake on Morph Market. We posted like one snake on Morph Market so far, but we ended up selling it locally, and so that's
Okay.
gonna be a new experience for me in the
Mm-hmm.
very near future. So I might reach out to you and holla at you about like some of the things that you've learned.
It a racking thing. You know what I mean? So I had shipped out an animal before that. Um, some time ago, I had gotten an animal from a breeder. I won't say his name, but the snake didn't look so good while it was in quarantine. Came with mites,
Oh man.
which yeah, which was an issue for me right off the bat because it was a pie. It was a dreamsicle, and I'm just
Oh
like, I
man.
don't know
So
how you
it's not like
put
it
it.
was cheap.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I'm just like,
Not that
and
matters, but still,
phys-
I mean that's just
physically
insult.
see that there's mites on this steak. You know what I mean? So when I'm like, when you put it in the bag, you should have seen with the amount of mites that was on this snake. You should have known that it had a couple. You know what I mean? There's no way, the next day I'm getting the snake, and then all of a sudden, all these eggs hatch, and there's a bunch
Right.
of mice just, you know what I
Right.
mean? So all right, he had to have known. And then while I was in quarantine, it started acting a little funny. I took it to the vet. The vet was like, it's not turning back over. They were suspecting IBD, inclusive
Oh
body
man.
disease. You know, the test came back negative, but it still had me a little nervous. I didn't want to keep the animal here in my possession, so I sent it
Right.
back. So that was actually my first time shipping an animal. So I've had the experience prior to actually making a sale. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. So speaking of like your projects and stuff, so I know you do clown, desert ghost, pod, hypo, and G stripe, right? Those are recessives you focus on.
Mm.
Okay.
Mostly G stripe, G stripe and hypo. Those are probably the two biggest things that I have in my
Okay.
collection. Yeah.
Okay. So it's easy for me to remember those because, with the exception of G stripe, those are like the same recessives I'm working with. And so when you got G
Okay.
stripe,
Okay.
I got ultimate.
Okay.
And
Okay. All right.
so at one point we were gonna do G stripe, and we had a banana motley B,
Okay.
and I thought it was a female for the longest. Found out it was a male, and so I'm not going to even work with him in the projects. I think I'm just get out that project because, like I said, we're already working with 5 recessives, and so space is a factor. Like
Yeah.
we're gonna add some different racks at some point, but I'm not trying to
Okay.
grow like too quickly, and so I just
Mhm.
kind of want to limit it, and so we're just
Yeah.
gonna get out that project altogether.
Okay.
But
Okay.
yeah, it was kind of a letdown because like I was really looking forward to seeing her on some eggs.
Yeah.
But and I told this story before, but we put it in the tub with like 2 or 3 different males, and one of the times we had her in with one male, we just heard like some bumping, like boom, boom, boom. And so I was like, man. So I went in there and she had then slid, and I probably should have pulled a bowl out in the first place, but she had then slid like one of those big ceramic water bowls on top of the male. And he was just in there, just hiding, man. He was like, man, get me out of here. This a boy. Yeah, he was in there. He ain't want no parts or none of that. And that's the thing that's crazy about it. Like he he might be. I think he's the biggest snake we got, like the biggest ball python we got. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like
Okay.
he's like 2,700 grams, and so I've popped and I've gotten better popping, but I'm still not like a super pro, right? Because I've only been doing it for so long. But every time I pop her, no hemipenes or anything like that came out.
Mm.
But after that time, she slid the bowl on old boy. I popped, and then I saw like fresh sperm plugs. I was like, man, that's a
Okay.
boy. But I still can get the hemipenes to pop out. And so I got with one of my homies that lives around here, Jordan from HJ Reptiles. And so we went over there because it's kind of been like my de facto mentor. Um,
Okay.
Jordan just been helping me out with like all kinds of stuff, and so we was popping it together. And so we were able to get the hemipenes to come out, and it was tough. It was even tough for Jordan to get him to come out. But yeah, turns out he's a boy, and so that explains it.
Crazy. That's why you heard that
That,
thrash.
yeah, like he was in the knucking because he was buck.
Yo, and you know they get big like that, man. Trying to pop them is like it's a real job. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you really gotta muscle them when they start getting to that size.
Yeah, yeah, but because I want to do some Kiki clown stuff. But
Okay.
like I said,
Yeah.
right now we're just gonna chill on it. Maybe in the future, but right now, just kind of thinking about space and the other projects that we're in and some projects we want to focus on more. We're just gonna chill right now.
Okay. Yeah, man.
So
That's one of the projects I wanted to get into maybe 2 years ago. I thought it was an amazing animal, clown J stripe. So I was a little mad at Justin for dropping that video he dropped. You know what I mean? I'm just like, nah, because I'm like, I know there's people with the ingredients to start working with these things, and it's just like, bro, just hold off. Let me start working with it first. You know what I mean? Like I have some double. I have a clown head G stripe boy, and I got a double head clown G stripe that I want to work with. But you know, I had some plans that I wanted to unleash before Justin started working. I had so somebody told me that he was gonna start working with it, but I didn't know it was gonna be so soon. I thought I was gonna be able to drop some stuff and kind of wow people before he did. You know what I mean? But you know, as a, you know, he's in true Justin fashion. He, you know,
yeah, oh
he,
yeah,
you know,
oh yeah. So what are some of your like ultimate snakes that you want to produce that haven't been produced that you don't mind sharing? So you probably got some
oh,
stuff tucked away.
um, man, there's so much I want to produce. You know, I want to start mixing these recessives together. You know what I mean? You know, just to see what they do and what they look like in person. You know, I'm tired of going to Morph Market and and looking at these snakes. Now I have the ingredients for them, and I can make them myself. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Definitely that clown J stripe is a big project for me.
You're gonna do
I,
some DG clown stuff.
I am, yeah. I'm working on some DG Clown stuff at the moment. Um, I've got a pastel blade clown girl that I paired up to a pastel lesser pinstripe desert ghost boy. So
Okay,
working on
okay.
double heads, and yeah, man, I'm trying to I had some plans in the beginning, and I've kind of went back and readjusted my plans, thrown out some plans. You know, that's what made me get rid of a couple of the snakes that I had, just to kind of readjust the plans that I have moving forward. So I'm still getting an idea of the exact routes that I want to take, but I know I'm getting all the ingredients together right now.
Gotcha. Yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely know the feeling. Right now we currently looking at our stuff and just kind of reassessing some things and saying, hey, do we really want to focus here or do we want to go a different direction? So we might be moving some snakes here in the near future that were
Okay.
intended to be breeders. And I know you
Mhm.
got I know you're in hypoclown. You got a lesser hypoclown? I can't remember.
What was that? What?
You got a lesser hypoclown male?
No, so I have a female. I have a Pastavi hypoclown
That's right.
female, and then I've got a hypo het clown boy. I've got a double het hypo clown
Okay.
girl. Yeah, and I think I think that's it. I might have another hypo clown. Uh, yeah, I got another hypo het clown.
Okay. Which codoms you like working with the best?
Man, I really love Enchi. Definitely a big fan of Enchi. Um, my guy Spicy Doodle say Enchi everything.
Into
Um,
everything.
yeah, yeah. I'm definitely man. I love Banana. I think it's very very powerful though. Sometimes a little too powerful. Um, and definitely Orange Dream. I'm a big fan.
Okay. Okay.
Big fan. Yeah.
So Inchi, OD, banana. Anything special going on with like some of your banana projects?
I'm working on some NC G stripe stuff at the moment. So hoping my girl will go for me this year. We'll see. She's definitely I got a couple locks out of her. So it is I'm doing a head to head actually also. So I got a OD head G stripe girl that I'm breeding to my banana pastel NC head G stripe boy.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll see what happens with that.
Okay. Yeah, I like banana too. Actually, I love banana. But I agree with you. It may be a little bit limited in what you can do with it in some cases, but it's a
Yeah.
lot of dope stuff that you can still do with banana. I got some things working with some bananas things.
Yeah, man, I love
And
the color. It makes stuff. You know, I'm definitely a sucker for eye candy, as my guy Brian would say. You know, I love bright things. You know what I mean? You know,
right.
and discredit any other thing. I really love all. I love everything, to be honest. I just love these animals. You know what I mean? I
Right.
love the different variations. I love the dark stuff. I love the light stuff. I need to add some more dark stuff because I'm slacking. You know, I'm called Royal Black Balls, and I don't have no black balls here. No, nothing. I have no dark jeans here. You know what I mean? Like, so I definitely need to work on that. But yeah, man, banana. I just love it because I love I love the brightness. You know what I mean? I love what it does when
Me
mixing
too.
certain.
Me too. Yeah, like I love banana with clown too. Like I love
Mm,
everything with clown, but
yeah,
so I'm a
yeah.
little bit
You
biased.
can't go wrong mixing clown with pretty
You
much
can't,
anything.
bro. You can't.
Yeah,
Yeah, clown everything.
yeah. There you go. Yeah.
uh, so you touched on it a little bit earlier. And you say you really in the state room all the time, but just kind of give us like an overview of your typical routine on a weekly basis.
So I'm I'm in the snake room every day. Um, Tuesdays is my feed day. If it's breeding season, Friday is my pair day, and then uh, depending on what else I'm doing with my personal life or work, I like to get in there and I'm constantly changing the waters out. I like to hand wash all the water dishes and throw them in the dishwasher. I do that about twice a week.
Okay.
So usually Monday and Thursday is kind of the water day. So
What substrate do you use?
I use cocoa and I use a mix. I use paper towel, I use cocoa, and I use
Okay.
unprinted. Yeah, I like the unprinted newspaper because it's nice and easy. If I need something to grab up the moisture, I'll just add a paper towel or two in there. Especially if I'm gonna put the water dish down, I'll throw a paper towel on it in case they kick it over a little bit. The paper towel will soak it up, but the unprinted newspaper works great. Easy for cleanups. You know what I mean? I don't have to do anything crazy with trying to scrape it off, or it's fairly easy. The only thing is, I have to come in here and clean more often than I would with cocoa. But I feel like cocoa makes me a little lazy. You know what I mean? I
I feel
prefer
you.
to get and kind of clean up. You know what I mean? With when I have animals with cocoa, I'm like, they're good. You know what I mean? I can get to I do my little spot clean, and you know what I mean. But I prefer to really give a nice clean to their tubs, and so putting them on paper allows me to do that.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cocoa can make you lazy. Not necessarily lazy, but it probably can lean you towards saying, "Oh, I think it's fine. I think it's fine." Um,
Yeah. Yeah. I
we
like
used to
that.
try to
I don't like.
change all our cocoa like on the same day, and that quickly
Mm.
became just undoable. Like it was just crazy.
Yo,
So
it's
now we
it's
just do it when they shed, like
okay.
a full change. So we'll
Okay.
spot clean throughout the week. We'll do deep cleanings of the tubs and whatnot, at least on a weekly basis, and then just like a
Mhm.
full cleaning, disinfect, all of that, the whole nine every time they shed. And so that
Okay.
we like that cadence just because
Okay.
we don't have to do all the snakes at the same time. Because when we had like a few, like a handful of snakes, it was cool. Like, yeah, we just do them all
Yeah, it
this
was
day.
easy.
Yeah, it was easy, but like that quickly
You,
became undoable. It's like,
you try to do that. We're gonna do a Saturday clean day,
oh
bro.
yeah,
You wake up and you still
about
not gonna do
Saturday.
yeah, the whole day. You were 3 in the morning. You still like, man, we're not done yet. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you got to now. You got to do it by rack. We gonna do this do this rack first. You know what I mean? And we gonna move to this rack the next time. You know what I mean? Because yeah, it'll eat up your time trying to go through all of the tubs.
Yeah,
So you
absolutely,
got to make certain racks for certain days. And so
absolutely.
Coco makes that such a longer process. When there's paper, I can just I put them in a different tub. Real quick. I wipe it out, throw some F10 in there, let it sit. It's good. With the cocoa, trying to get all the fine stuff out, and you know what I mean.
Yeah,
There's all the
yeah.
little flakes everywhere. Trying to wipe, like man, I thought I scrubbed that. You know what I mean?
And
So
depending on what brand, sometimes it's dusty. Like some brands are
yeah,
dustier than others too. So that's one of the drawbacks too.
yeah. What brand do you use?
So I'm kind of a mixture, right? So for everybody in the ARS racks, they all got cocoa blocks.
Okay,
And they're all larger snakes. But for the ones that's in like the sea serpents racks, they're all smaller snakes. And so I'm using this stuff called Grow It, which is kind of like Rep the Chip, essentially.
okay.
And so I either
I
use
seen you
Grow It or
talking
Rep the
about
Chip.
that with GP. You was talking about that.
Yeah. He put me on it. And so
Okay,
it was cheaper than the Rep the Chip. So I roll with it. And I don't really see no quality difference. So,
okay.
but
And
I
what's
can't
your
find it locally. I can't find it locally. I think he picked his up locally. I can't find it locally, or I haven't
okay,
found it yet. So hopefully
okay,
one day I can
okay,
find it locally and maybe save a little bit of extra cheese.
okay. Hey, if the price is still better, you know what I mean. I get it.
Yeah,
Sometimes you find what works best.
absolutely. But if I like the cocoa blocks the best, I just like the way it looked.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah, I like Repti Chip. I used to do I can't remember the name of it. Coco Loco, but from
okay,
Casey Reptile Lab. but he switched to like an Aspen or something like that, and I don't really. It gets real dry here in my house. I can't. I need to have cocoa. So on this for the snakes where I don't have cocoa, I still use like a little bit of moss. Riker's Reptiles. I saw him. He puts moss in a stocking. He ties it up, throws it in there in the tub.
Okay.
I'm just
Like
like,
the
oh, that's a great
sphagnum
idea.
moss.
You know. Yeah, yep, yep. So it works great. You know what I mean? Gives the perfect amount of moisture in there. To where you're not constantly spraying down the tubs. And so, like I said, it does get a little dry down here. So that makes up for it for the tubs where I'm not using cocoa.
Okay. Is the humidity in New York generally kind of dry?
During the winter, yeah, it gets real dry,
Okay.
and during the summertime, the humidity is way up there.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it gets real humid, hard to breathe. You know what I mean? It's like
Okay.
yeah. Midwinter and midsummer in New York is like you don't really want to be here. You know what I mean? But all the other times is good. Yeah, all the other times is good.
Gotcha. You've been in New York your whole life?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, my whole life, man. I think maybe when I get a little older, I think about getting out of here. I'm definitely a mama's boy. My wife and I my mom has MS. My wife and I take care of her, so I can't go too far anyway.
Gotcha.
We like being close by to moms. You know what I mean? So, and I've been blessed. My wife, she got a beautiful relationship with my mom.
That's
So
dope.
she don't want to leave her. So yeah, we sticking close by. You know what I mean? I'll probably be in New York for a while.
Okay. Okay. That's
Yeah,
dope, bro.
yeah.
All right. So speaking of life, work, and roll black balls, like, do you ever find sometimes it's hard to balance all three? And what do you do to kind of like even that out sometimes when it gets tough,
So,
if it gets tough?
when the baby came, it got a little tough just because I just had to kind of reorient myself. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? I need to get up at this time, take care of this stuff, and you know what I mean. Be here with the wife, and then I have work. Before During COVID, I started working from home,
Okay.
and so prior to that, I always worked from my computer, would be in the office a couple of days during the week. COVID hit, uh, had the ability to stay home and work. And so I've kind of continued the ability to be mobile, wherever I work from, you know what I mean? So um, it's given me the ability to kind of come in the snake room when I need to, so I could be here working, getting some work done, getting ready for a meeting or something. And if I need to tend to the snakes or do something, I can do that.
Gotcha.
So that gives me a lot of freedom. Um, the fact that I work from my computer, that I'm mobile working, it gives me a lot of freedom. Gives me the ability, like I said, to come in here and check on the snakes whenever I want to. Um, yeah, I would be at work probably worried about the snakes anyway. So I love being here. A lot of times I've done meetings here. You know what I mean? And where I get caught, they're like, "What's that in the background?" I'm like, "Oh, Then it goes to a totally different conversation from what we were supposed to be having. Um, and yeah, the fact that the name Royal Black Balls shows up, that's a conversation in itself. I'm trying to do a Zoom call for work. I'll be forgetting
Like, I gotta
like Royal
change
Black Balls. Yeah, I forget. Yeah, it's definitely an issue. Yeah,
That's funny. Um,
yeah.
yeah, I work like on a hybrid schedule. So sometimes I'll be working from home, sometimes I'll be working from the office. But those days that you work from
Okay.
home, like, I love it too, man. Just because like on lunch I can check on the snakes real quick. Just
Mm.
it just gives you that much more flexibility and freedom. And my work computer, like my setup, it's like on the so all the stuff back here, and then like my computer set up obviously right in front of it. And so I usually just turn on the virtual background because I don't even be wanting to have the conversations at work. I just
Like what is that?
yeah, I was like, what is that? And then that'll turn into a whole nother conversation. Like I used to
Oh,
have the conversations at work, but then we'll be talking at work for like 20, 30 minutes about something totally unrelated to work. and then we still ain't got the work done. So I was like, yeah, I can't do that. And so I
Yeah,
just throw on the virtual background now. That way, I just keep them separate. But yeah, it's
yeah,
definitely a benefit to have the flexibility of being able to work from home at least a couple days a week. Absolutely. So being new to the breeding side of things, so you've been doing this about what, 2.5 years now?
yeah, about 2.5 years.
Since you got back in it. So what advice do you have for any new breeders trying to get into the game or that just got into the game?
Uh, Consistency. You consistent, be patient, be willing to spend some money, because you're gonna spend money.
Scared
Just
money
make
don't
sure you're
make
not
money.
taking away food. Yeah, fact. Make sure you're not taking food away from your kids. You know what I mean? Be wise about it, but you got to spend money. If you spend money early on, you won't have to worry about doing it later. You buy the things that you want now, and it'll save you time later on. Those projects that you want to get into, they're not 8-year projects. They're 3-4 year projects. You know what I mean? Depending on what you get. Facts.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was when I first got into it, I probably should have followed that advice because some of the animals that we bought weren't necessarily like the ones that I wanted to be working with. Not in it, not like that, but the more so that I wanted to be working with because I was a little timid about investing at first,
Okay.
and so I kind of had to come after that and start buying like some of the more valuable animals, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah,
Now I was there too. I was dreaming small. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Uh, but to have the ability to go back and change was definitely a blessing. To say, all right, well, I want to be able to do this instead. And so, like I said, if you can, what you can purchase it. Definitely do that. And then also have goals. You got to have goals. Dreams without goals are just dreams. You
absolutely,
gotta have goals. You know what I mean? And you'll find yourself not going anywhere, um, um, and you'll burn out if you don't have goals, especially in this hobby. So definitely have goals. It's important.
absolutely, absolutely. Do you have like a formal goal setting process, or you just kind of set them as you go?
I set them as I go. Yeah,
Okay,
I set them as I go. I just try to maintain some type of goal. You know what I mean? Maintain working on some kind of goal, but as they come, I kind of set goals for myself as I need to
gotcha,
rather.
gotcha. And so that's actually kind of touching on one of the questions I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you about your goals. So, like, what are some of your short term and long term goals for the business? Like, is it something you want to do full time? What are your goals?
I don't want to. Well, man, if I could do it full time, I still wouldn't be able to not do my current job. Um, I love what I do as far as HR. Um, so I don't see me just doing this. I don't see me just doing. I feel like I need to be doing other things also. You know what I mean? But hey, if I was making Justin money or Bob Vu money, maybe I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. So, what have you liked most about the hobby so far?
The community, yeah, community's
Absolutely.
been great, man. I pleasantly surprised by my experiences and the interactions that I've had. I met a lot of dope people. People, excuse me, people I end up talking to every day. You know what I mean? Like, it's. I love what I do as far as dealing with these animals. It's a huge part of my life, and I can't talk about it with just anybody. And so to have a community of people that I can go to talk about what I love is amazing. Of course, I have family members, and they'll entertain me, and we could talk
Right.
for some time about this stuff. But they don't have the passion, they don't have the love, they don't have the knowledge. You know what I mean? So it's they're giving me an ear, which is
Yeah, they can
cool.
listen to you,
Like
but do you hear me?
yeah, like let me talk my stuff. You know what I mean? Which is cool. I love that. But I want somebody to give me a rebuttal. You know what I mean? Have something to say. I want to have an exchange as opposed to just be given information. So I
Absolutely, I feel
enjoy
you.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, this community has been dope, man. I met like so many cool people just over the past couple of years. It's been cool. I'm looking forward to getting to like Daytona and getting to
Mm.
Tinley, so I can meet a lot of people in person that I talk with on a daily basis, like day in day out. And I feel like we've been knowing each other for forever,
For
but a
years.
lot of folks I hadn't even met them in person. Like
Right.
I don't.
Right.
It's just it's I haven't been part of a community like this. It's so dope, and just kind of the circle that we roll with is dope. It's definitely a family, absolutely, Cassie.
It is. It is a family. You know what I mean? And I'm into motorcycles. I'm into tattoos. Like there's other communities out there, but man, there's no community like this one. It's amazing. I definitely love the community, man. It's been great. You know.
Speaking of community, are you going to Tinley or Daytona?
I'll be at Tinley in October.
Oh, you'll be at Tinley, dope.
Um, yeah, and I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna do Daytona or Arlington. I haven't decided yet.
Daytona, bro. You got to do Daytona.
That's what I'm hearing. I need.
Just hop on 95.
Yeah, right. Yo, you know what though? I'm like, why does it have to be in the hottest month of the year? Y'all want us to go down there and
Oh, it's gonna be
like,
hot, hot, bro. I promise you.
yeah, man, yeah, no,
It's
I
funny.
know
The
it's gonna be
first
hot.
time we went to Daytona, um, we was walking and we got in there and I was sweating. And I had my son with me. And so you know how kids be embarrassed and stuff. He's like, Dad, why are you sweating? Bro, because it's hot. It's hot, hot. I ain't gonna lie, it do
Yeah,
be hot.
cool. I know.
It's
Yeah,
definitely hot,
I
but
was
it's fun
talking
though. It's gonna be a good time.
to
It's going down to Daytona.
Steve Smorf's wife when I was down in Arlington in February, and she was talking about how great of a show it is, but she definitely mentioned that heat. You know what I mean? They're from there, so she's used to it. But she brought it up to me. I'm just like, man, it must be real hot.
Oh yeah, it's real hot and it's real humid too. Like it might take your breath. It's that kind of humidity that can
But
take your breath sometimes.
it get humid here, so I'm ready
Okay,
for
so
the humid.
all right, so
Yeah,
you're probably good to
yeah,
go. That's right. You said it get pretty bad there.
yeah, but y'all start throwing them degrees up more. I don't know. It get real hot down there.
Yeah, it get hot,
But yeah,
hot.
I'm thinking about going down there for Daytona because I wanted to rent a house down in Orlando. Just make the
Okay,
drive. That's a little vacation spot that we go to in Orlando. My wife and I and the family.
okay.
So thinking about doing that, but we'll see. We'll see. But the more people I talk to, definitely hearing them saying I'm going to Daytona. I'm like, man, I might have to do that. I'm trying to decide.
Yeah,
Definitely Tinley.
Esteban,
Definitely,
definitely Tinley. Yeah, I
definitely
would
going.
definitely be at Tinley. We booked our room, we booked our flight, we bought our passes, so we're ready to go for that. Got our room
Oh, you
reserved
ready?
for Daytona, ready to go for that. We're just gonna drive to Daytona because it's like an hour and a half away from us. So we're just gonna drive and
Okay.
we're gonna stay there over the weekend so we can hang out. But yeah,
Okay.
I'm definitely ready for that.
Right. That's what's up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm taking my daughter on her first plane ride in like 2 weeks.
Okay.
Hopefully that goes good, and then I'll let you know if it's gonna be family trips coming up, or if it's gonna be me solo at the expos. You know what I mean? It depends on
Yeah.
how he does with traveling.
Okay. Okay. How old is your daughter?
Yeah. She is 7 months.
7 months
Yeah.
now. Okay. So she get on the plane way before I did. I think I was like over 21 the first time I got on the plane.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I was scared. So I ain't gonna lie.
Yo,
But it wasn't nothing to it.
and they try to tell you statistically it's the safest way to travel, and I'm like, yeah, but when you hear about a plane crash, you don't really hear about walking away from that. You know what I mean? People will be going to work like, yo, I had this plane crash earlier. It was crazy. You know what I mean? Like that. You know what I mean? I'm just like, that doesn't make me feel better.
Yeah, I was scared. I flew from because I'm from Georgia, Valdosta, Georgia. So I flew from. I don't think I flew out of Valdosta. I might have drove up to Jacksonville and flew out of Jacksonville. I can't remember. It's been a minute now, like 20 plus years ago. But I flew from there to Pennsylvania, and I was scared because I had never flown before. I was worried about crashing, and just
Everything, right?
all of that, bro. I was psyching myself out, but then it wasn't nothing to it. And then I done been on like tons and tons of flights now, so it's nothing now. But that first one, I was spooked. I ain't gonna even lie.
But at that age, you know, when you're a kid, you start doing something. You know, you just do it. You know what I mean? But you know, if you wait till you're old, then you know your brain done worked up a bunch of stuff. You thinking about the movies and stuff that you've seen, and you know what I mean. You start taking you places.
Exactly. Like, did you see what happened on Final Destination? I'm not getting on this plane.
Yep. That was a movie too. When you talk about planes, Final Destination. Sorry, yep.
Yeah. So you got all kinds of scenarios going through your head. It's amazing how the brain works. But when you're a kid, you're just fearless.
Yeah, all trust.
Yeah. Sometimes fearless to a fault, but fearless nonetheless.
Yep. Fact. Definitely fearless to a fault. You know. Yeah. I see it with my daughter, just just moving around, and she ready to just go right off the bed. You know what I mean? Like she's starting to crawl and stuff. That's why so. But yeah, you just see the trust that kids have, the fearlessness. They just don't understand. But when you get to that age that you understand, it's almost a hindrance. You know what I mean? Like it's good that you're able to get on that flight, but it could have been a hindrance to where you don't want to do anything by that point.
Exactly, 100%. So what's something you didn't expect out of the hobby that you've kind of encountered?
Man, the community. I didn't. Yeah, man. I wasn't expecting that. Yeah, that's probably it, man. The community camaraderie, the support. Yeah, definitely wasn't expecting that.
Okay. And so, what were some challenges you've had that you've gone through in terms of like breeding and whatnot?
So, I don't know. Challenges. I guess personal challenges like. So patience is definitely something that I thought I had a lot of, but this getting into the hobby has taught me I don't have quite as much patience as I thought. You know what I mean? So it's pushing me to be more patient. You know what I mean? So that's something for me, I guess.
Yeah, it'll definitely teach you patience.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
It's because a lot of people just see the pictures of the eggs and the cool snakes, but it's a lot that happens to get to that point. So
yeah.
Patience is definitely something I'm learning. I'm the same because when I first started, that was something that I heard people say, like, you gotta have patience, and so I'm like, oh, I got patience. But yeah, I realized that I can do better with the patience, right?
Yeah. I thought I was up here, probably, you know what I mean, somewhere down here. I'm
you're talking
trying to
about
get
patience.
Yeah, you talking about real patience. Like, yeah, I didn't have that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's more. It's amazing though. Like, it's definitely. I see patience being instilled in me from this hobby. That's definitely a challenge. Just trying to be patient. Um, even with purchases, not just actually breeding process, but just like, in your mind you start thinking of directions you want to go with breeding or whatever the case may be, and you might go on Morph Market. Let's see what they
Right.
got and make a purchase instead of like really getting an idea of the direction you should go in, and not just adding an animal to your collection because it looks good, stuff like that. That's been a challenge
Absolutely.
for me more so. So definitely say the patience.
Yeah, that's one. It's easy to do too, like going on more market, like seeing all the tight stuff. But you just gotta learn. You can't breed them all. You can't get them all.
Nah, you
So you gotta be
can't.
focused. And so
Yeah.
yeah,
And not having as many racks in the house definitely keeps me, you know, um, to where I'm not doing too much, you know.
absolutely.
Yeah, that keeps me patient too. Because the more space I have, I'm like, all right, well, I can just buy this, I can buy that, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I'm just like, well, when I see the rack space, I'm like, there's things I can add. I can, but I'm just like, when I just see what I have here, I'm like, this is what I can work with. When I see rack space, I'm like, there's more I can work with. So I'm just
Exactly.
trying to chill out.
Like we got a space to put some more racks, but like I was saying earlier, I'm not in a rush to get new racks, right? Because I kind of like having that limitation because it really forces you to think through: is
Yeah.
this really what you want to add to the collection, or is this something you want to keep and things of that nature? Because I know I'm going to be real selective with my holdbacks.
Mm.
Um, at first, I kind of thought I was just gonna kind of hold back like everything, not everything, so to speak, but hold back a bunch of females, right? Like just as many females as I can. But I don't necessarily want to go that route. I want to be a little bit more selective and just kind of hold back, kind of like the creme de la creme, right?
Mhm.
And then
Right. Yeah.
everything else, I'm a sell, right? And that's gonna do a couple things. It's gonna put some money in our pocket so we can reinvest in some of the other animals and some more powerful animals. And then it's also going to kind of like save space, right? And kind of keep us at a reasonable level and kind of force us to grow at a more steady rate instead of just kind of like skyrocketing, right? Because I kind of want to like do it balanced, right? Because I feel like it's easier for me to control it and kind of keep my arms around it if
Yeah.
we grow slower at a more steady pace versus kind of like right. Because at first we were kind
Right.
of like, but now we've kind of like
Hmm.
level, and so like
Plateau.
I kind of like this level, right? Right, we 30,000 feet now. We flying, we can take the seatbelts off
Yeah.
and all that. But you don't want to just shoot up again, or I don't want to just shoot up again. And
Yeah.
so like now we're just kind of
Mm.
just rising steadily. And so
Right. Right.
that's the route I want to take.
No, I like that. Yeah. No, I'm on it like that too. I don't want to do too much. You know what I mean?
Right.
Definitely trying to keep it at a good pace. And yeah, in the beginning, I definitely was doing a little too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah,
And it's easy to do that too.
happens fast, man.
It happens
Happens fast.
before you know it, bro. I mean, and don't get me wrong, like I haven't somehow transcended above doing that because I still want to do it, but I just know,
Yeah.
that's not the route you want to go.
That discipline I was mentioning. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Man, super important.
And patience.
Patience.
Patience
Yeah.
coming there too. Even with that, just like you said. Absolutely.
Yep.
So who have been some of your mentors?
First of all, my guy Hector from Honey Reptiles, man, he's been
From who
huge.
reptiles? You say honey?
Honey, Honey Reptiles, New York.
Okay.
Yeah,
Work.
yeah. Hector from Honey Reptiles, yo, he's been really great mentor for me. You know what I mean? He's somebody I'm up 3 in the morning thinking about, man, like I'm thinking about pairings and just keeping practices, and he's somebody I can reach out to, and he's giving me responses, and he's willing to come over here and go through my collection if need be, and talk to me about stuff. And so he's been a big help, um, just giving me good insight, um, helping me with my projects. So definitely him, and Owen from Got Balls. Um, he's definitely been somebody from the beginning that kind of embraced me and always willing to to give me advice and input. And then Brian from Samson's Nicotorium.
Okay.
He's more so somebody I go to concerning the community, and he's just been like a good friend, somebody that embraced me from jump when I came into the community.
Okay. Okay. That's dope. Yeah. Like it's really important, I think, to have good mentors and to have people
Yeah,
that kind of help pull you along. And I hope one day, like when I get to a point to where like I'm someone that someone can look up to, I wanted to kind of give back, right, and just kind of like pay it forward and give back myself. But yeah, it's been super helpful. Like I wouldn't be thinking about certain things the way that I think about them now if it wasn't for the folks that kind of like guided me and had conversations with me, had real conversations with me, and just kind of said, "Hey, no, I wouldn't do it like that, bro. I would
yeah,
consider this, right?" And no one's ever tried to force anything on me, right? They say, "Hey, maybe have you considered this?" And you're like,
mm,
"Nah." And I'm somebody. I like to have feedback from people who I respect and who've been through it and they kind of know a lot because it helps me get better quicker because I want to get
right,
so patience is another thing, but I don't have patience like with myself sometimes in learning, and so I want to get good as quick as possible. And so one
mm,
of the ways that I found is working with people who know more than you, who've got more experience than you. They can help you get better quicker, right? Because
yeah,
patience with myself, I do feel like that's a place where I lack. Sometimes probably to a fault, but
mm,
I just got to push myself. Like,
yeah, yeah. No, it's definitely a challenge, but that's something else I would say. When you asked about people getting into the hobby, what do they need to be breeder? I definitely would say find a good mentor, find somebody that you could talk to, that'll give you advice, that'll give you input, that'll steer you in the right directions. Somebody who has dealt with people, because navigating the community is also part of this business. And although you may not like it, it is what it is. You have to navigate people. It's not
right,
just about selling animals. So having somebody that can steer you in the right directions, kind of guide you to deal with the right people, because you can get in this hobby and get with the wrong people. And so having somebody to kind of point you in the right direction is super important.
absolutely,
Facts.
absolutely.
Steven, what's good, my guy? Yeah, super important.
Yeah, that's definitely very important. I appreciate everybody who's helped me along the way, and it's been a lot of folks. I mean, Reggie, I've had several like long calls with him. Man, I know he's super busy, but I mean, we've been on like a Zoom call for like 2 hours, just talking through things, and so like that was very helpful to me, and we've done it on multiple occasions, and he's always willing to give feedback. Gershon is another person. Gershon really pushed me in the YouTube space and kind of encouraged me to get out there and put my name out there and not just put my name out there, but put a face with it there, right? And so like kind of connect on a human level with people because like you said, you got to navigate the community, and so Gershon's been very instrumental in kind of like pushing in that space. And same thing with Gershon, like we've had like 2 hour, 3 hour conversations on video chats where we're just kind of like bouncing different ideas off of each other and talking about stuff. Antoine's another one that's been super helpful. It's a ton of people in this community. Keys, I mean, this is a bunch of people. Terry and Keisha, Nicole, it's a ton of people. I can't name everybody, but it's a ton of people
You be here
that's
for
been
a
super
minute,
helpful. Yeah, I will be here. It'll be a whole nother episode. It'd be like a DMX. It
right?
was Brenda looking. But yeah, it's a lot of people, and that's and the fact that there's so many people is really just a testament to this community in general. And just
Facts.
kind of piggybacking off what you were saying earlier and how positive this community is. Like, and that's not to say that there aren't some bad players. I mean, but that's going to be in any community. But this community has just been is especially embracive of us, and so we really appreciate that. So
Right. Right. And man, another thing I would say, somebody coming into the hobby, just to touch on that real quick, impression saturation. That's something that I've heard recently. It's kind of stuck out to me. Just
impression saturation.
yeah, just
Okay.
yeah. So making sure that you're seen, people see you, um, using different platforms, social media platforms, YouTube, engaging online, reposting stuff, like all of that makes you seen, and that's important for your business. So if you're trying to get into it, you just you want to get as many looks as possible. So yeah, impression saturation is super important.
Absolutely, it makes perfect sense. And I'm glad I did it. It's outside of my comfort zone just to get in front of a
Mhm.
bunch of people and talk and just do things. But hey, that's part of growing, right? Doing things outside of your comfort zone. Because if you always do what's
Right,
inside your comfort zone, you're gonna stay in that zone. So why not make your zone bigger?
right. You're never gonna grow. You know.
Exactly, 100%.
Nah,
All
but
right,
yo,
bro.
you man. I've been enjoying watching your interviews. You know what I mean? It's definitely been dope watching you.
Yeah, I certainly appreciate the support, bro. And it's great having you on. I mean, I'm looking forward to all of them, but I was especially looking forward to this one. I can't wait to chat it up with you.
Nah,
Um,
thanks for having me, man. Definitely appreciate it.
I got a few random questions for you before we get out of here. So, if you could live anywhere in the world, where would that be and why?
Bora Bora.
Bora Bora.
Yeah, man. I took my wife there a couple years back, and it was just amazing feeling. You really feel like just away from all the noise of people and things. It's real peaceful there. So definitely Bora Bora would probably be it.
Nice, nice. And so, if you could have dinner with any three people, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Definitely Jesus. I got a
Okay.
lot of questions that I would want to ask. Um, I just to be around uh, such excellence and perfection would be amazing to me. Um, Second, Bob Marley, because he's an incredible individual. I would love to just have a conversation with him. I think he's very intelligent, um, and it would just be cool to chop it up with him. Pick his brain a little bit.
It would.
And the third, um, man, I don't know about the third one. I would have to get back to you on that one.
Ultimate Warrior? Nah, just one.
Yo, you know what's crazy? I actually thought when I was younger, I had heard a rumor that he had passed away, and for a long time, I thought
Same.
he had, and he came back, and then he passed away like like right after, man. Like
Exactly. The
that
same. I went through the same thing. Like, that was crazy, bro.
yeah, for a long time, I thought he had went. I heard he passed away from AIDS. Matter of fact. I heard he was using steroids and all types of stuff. But yeah, uh, maybe Ultimate Warrior, man.
Maybe we can ask him how those rumors started.
Right?
Cool. And then one more. So if you won $10 million tomorrow, how would you use it and why?
So I would start a charity in my mom's name and my two brothers that passed away. I would start off a charity, um, and just because they were people. My mom, she's still here with us, but my brothers were people who like to give. They like to do for people. My mom is that way. She lives for the ability to give and do for people. You know what I mean? So to be able to do something in their names where I could be a blessing to others would be awesome. And then and then man, I probably after that, I probably just live good. I want to be yeah, I want to have freedom. So financial freedom. It
Financial
would give,
freedom.
yeah,
Absolutely.
it would give me financial freedom and the ability to kind of stick and move as I choose.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Cool. All right. And so, what's one question you wish I would have asked you, and how would you have answered it?
um, I don't know. Yeah, you asked some good questions. Yeah, maybe I thought you might have asked me about my faith or something. But you asked good questions. Yeah, so
Or,
I would have kept it how it was.
okay. Okay. Cool. All right, so before you get out of here, first of all, I really appreciate you coming on. Like I said, man, this has been
Of course.
dope. I was really looking forward to it. It was dope getting to chat it up with you. I hope I get to see you in Daytona, even though it's gonna be hot.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
after a while, it'll get cool in the building, so it won't be too bad in the building. But once you go back
Okay.
outside, it's hot again.
Yeah.
But hope to see you in Daytona and hope to see you at Tinley too. But before you get out of
Yeah,
here,
man.
tell everybody how they can find you online.
Uh, so I have a YouTube account. I need to up my game with my YouTube, but mostly Instagram. I'm on Instagram. I usually try to post on there. That's where most of my engagement is. I have a TikTok. Don't
That's
post
your
that much on there. Facebook, you can find me on there. I am. I definitely don't use my Facebook like that. I won't ignore your message if you reach out to me on there, but and that's just not really where I do my engagements. So mostly Instagram, and then if you need to email me, Shemier at royalblackball.com, and yeah, I'm on Morph Market too. So check out what I have. I only have one animal on there right now, but we'll have some more stuff up on there soon.
That's dope, bro. That's dope. And I got all your links in the description of this video. So anybody watching this later, make sure you go give my boy a follow. Again, thank you for coming out, bro.
So,
All right.
thank you for having me, man. Enjoyed
Yes,
it. Yeah, it was
sir.
good chopping it up with
All right, bro. Take it easy. All right, y'all. That's another show in the books. Really appreciate all of y'all coming out in the chat tonight. Man, y'all killed the chat tonight. I really appreciate the support. Really, really appreciate the support. Um, Looking forward to next week's episode. We got Big E from Ebony and Ivory Reptiles. Y'all know Matt. So y'all definitely come check us out next week. Thanks for coming out tonight. And anyone that's watching this who is not following our guest tonight, Shemier from Royal Black Balls, make sure you go follow your boy. All right. Thank y'all for coming out. Peace.